Welcome, ladies and gents, to Just Jacks, Just Chat, number 29. It's another Nation series. We're loving having our guests on at the moment. And this week we have a chap on called Sam Yee. Sam is actually a mutual connection of Rondell Barrio. That's how we got in touch. Love what he was doing. It seemed like he was on. He was trying to go through the ranks and make it as a pro golfer. And then recently sort of seemed to have switched to more of an entrepreneurial approach to his career. Um, so yeah, look, the way we like to start these things, Sam, is to just take a deep dive into you as a person, your background, and really find out a bit more about you and your origin story. So, without further ado, Sam, go on, give us your big introduction, and yeah, let's hear it.
All right, so my name is Sammy. I've been playing golf since I was 9 years old.
Nice.
I'm currently 27 years old, and I turned professional when I was 21. I won the One Asia Q School in 2014. Traveled around Asia, Australia, um, played around for 2 years. Came back to the States. I got injured for a year, and I kind of decided I didn't want to stay on my ass. I wanted to
Mhm.
do something, and I always wanted to do a brand. And I figured I started a sports brand that caters to around the fitness side and the golf side. And my brand is Story.
Okay.
And since then, I just love the fact of talking to people, hearing them out exactly what you guys are doing, which is great.
Yeah.
In the brand side, like kind of products.
Yeah.
And that's kind of just been my route lately, and my love has kind of shifted my passion.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, that's just kind of just the things, and then there's obviously when we get into more detail, I'll get
Sure.
the good stuff
No,
in.
thanks for the introduction, man. The first thing that strikes me that's pretty impressive is the level of self awareness. Like when someone gets it into the head that they want to be a professional sports person, or in this case, golfer, like they
Mhm.
think about nothing else, and that's them. And obviously, it's an extremely difficult route to take. Right? There's so many hurdles that people just don't see.
Mhm.
All they see is people being successful until they don't see the in between stuff. And for you to take a step back after an injury and think, is this still aligned to what I want to do? And then go, no, look, I'm going to pursue, another passion in creating a brand in the sports industry. That's admirable, man.
No,
So
it's cool. I
hats
love
off.
it. Yeah.
that's
Well played, man. Honestly, seriously, I wish you the best of luck with that as well. We're just going through the Instagram now as well, and I like the look of the brand. So I'm really looking forward to hearing about it. I like the brand in the story. You've got the boxes that I can see. So I'm yeah. Bearing in mind, Sam, I haven't had a great deal to have a look through this, so this is all fresh for me. So I'm excited to hear about it.
Yeah, so I guess we'll put this sort of the business stuff on hold until
Yeah.
a bit further down the podcast.
Mhm.
Okay.
I really want to find out a bit more, Sam, about your sort of introduction to golf because we're all about accessibility and get as many people to the game as possible. So we'd love to know
Okay.
how you started, how you picked up your first club, and then how you took that sort of step from casual golfing to working with Butch Harmon and then trying to make it on
That's an
tour.
interesting story, right? Um, well, the thing for me was I played when I was 9 years old. My uncle and mom took me, and I got hooked.
Okay.
I didn't want to leave, and I have a very interesting story about myself. I started high school,
Okay.
and hello.
Yeah, yeah,
We're
we're
good.
good.
Oh, sorry. I thought. Okay. Um, yeah, I started high school ninth grade, and after 6 months, I told my mom I don't want to go to school.
Okay.
Wow.
In high school, and I was like, and she's like, "What? You're ninth grade. How do you not want to go to school?" And I said, "Well, I want to play golf."
So what
And
age is that? Sorry, Sam, just so the English followers know roughly.
15 years old.
15. Wow. Okay. Right.
Yeah, young.
Yeah, that is young. Okay.
I was 15, and they're like, my parents were, kind of going crazy. This kid doesn't want to go to school. What the heck is going on? You know? And I'm like, well, I don't want to go to college either. And then they're like, what? I was like, I want to play golf. I don't want to go to college either. And they're like, going crazy. So we compromised.
Okay.
We had a compromise. I went to go live with my family friend, who turned out to be an LPGA, player's father. Her name is Jane Park.
Okay.
I went to go live with them, and we lived together for 3 years. I was training with her dad, and I homeschooled did all my work.
Wow.
And ended up not going to college. I played amateur golf for like 2 years, from 18 to 20 years old, and I've had battles with my parents. My my dad was like, I don't know anything about golf, so we got this U.S. amateur qualifying coming up. If you don't qualify, I think we should try to go a different route. And thankfully, I qualified.
Oh, nice.
And continued my journey. Kept playing, had some success, and then with Butch, how Butch came to the picture.
How did you get involved with Butch Hall?
Yeah, so with Butch, so all that stuff happened, blah blah blah, at One Asia, and then I was pretty like getting tired of golf. I was struggling so bad, and I just kind of didn't want to continue to play. And my mom signed me up for Butch Harmon Golf School.
Right.
And I told her, I don't want to go, Mom. I don't want to go. This is a waste of time. And then Butch is there, a 3-day school. I'm playing with Butch. I mean, he's watching me here and there. And then Butch is like, "What's your story, kid? Like, what's your deal?" And I'm like, I don't think I'm gonna play anymore." It was really great meeting you though. And he's like, "You're crazy. You're gonna really say that to me?" I'm like, "Yeah, I just want to be honest." Mm-hmm. So he said, "What do you say if I told you to come back to get lessons with me one-on-one?" And I said, okay.
You can't say that.
And then the rest is history after that. I just got to...
That's awesome. You know what? But I like about that story as well. When you say how at the start you were the one that wanted to push the golf. It was your decision, which is great. Your parents were against that, and then at the time where you'd hit the point where you no longer wanted to play, it's really good to hear that your mum was like, "No, you need to do it," and she actually booked you onto this herself. Did you say that?
That's a great assessment.
Yeah, like honestly. That's awesome to see that they didn't want you to. They didn't agree with it, and they thought, you know what it is. That's clearly his passion. Let's kind of They obviously supported it to the point, which is awesome to hear. That's fantastic.
I think that's something that's particularly rare as well. Obviously, they sort of tested you on it to an extent where you were going to have to show an enormous amount of commitment to it because they made it tough for you to get into it. But it sounds like once you're in it, they were fully supportive. That's sick.
Yeah, that's cool.
I'm very blessed. I have very good parents. I'm very lucky in that way. Just can't even talk highly of them enough.
That's awesome. Are you from the LA area, Sam? Are you from California?
I'm from California. I currently live in Burbank. It's 15 minutes north of Los Angeles.
Okay, cool, nice. Awesome. And then how did you, obviously our mutual connections, Rondell Barrio, how on earth did you encounter that crazy motherfucker?
I knew Ron when I was 11 years old, believe it or not.
Wow.
That is a long time.
I'm an interesting guy. I know a lot of people in golf, just because I'm that guy. I just talk to everybody. Yeah. And he always knew me because I was the crazy kid always practicing all day. So he was just like, "Who's this little kid? Little chubby Asian kid practicing all freaking day. He does not go to school, that little kid." And
yeah, the guy doesn't go to school.
yeah, wait a minute. I dropped out.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
But he's a good guy. He's a very good guy. Very well connected, obviously, you guys know.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've been talking. We've linked back. We've talked more. Especially I'm getting into the business side. Mm-hmm. I love getting information from him, help from him as well.
Okay.
So
yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
I'm seeing Butch tonight, by the way.
You're seeing Butch tonight?
No, tomorrow morning. I'm sorry. I have a lesson tomorrow with him. I'm leaving tonight though.
Nice.
Nice. Are you still at a point with your golf where are you still competing at a certain level, or where are you at with your game at the moment?
Yeah, so right now I'm so hung up on my entrepreneurial stuff. Mm-hmm. I gotta keep thinking, but I want to stay in the game, so I still go play tournaments, mini tour events around the area local for now. Yeah,
but
it's still trying to.
It is hard though, like you say, when you get into a business, it's amazing how much it actually does take over. It's not as easy as people think. As soon as you scratch the surface and start a business, there's so many different things that you've got to cover.
Oh.
So no, I can totally appreciate that, man. But it's obviously you're keeping it in the forefront, and you're still going to keep playing golf throughout it, which is the best part about it. And the business is based around golf. So.
Yeah, but the other cool thing that may or may not be true, I don't know, you can correct me, Sam, is obviously when you start a new business, it's imperative that you put as much money back into the business as possible. And you might be able to make enough money on mini tours to be able to sustain yourself where you don't have to take a cut from the business in the first few years. Is that something that you've been thinking about as well?
Yes, I'm barely taking any money. I don't take any money. I'm barely getting any profit.
Yeah.
I mean, it may look good on the outside, but like you say,
We know the
you have to
realities.
put
Yeah.
money back in.
Yeah.
We know
You
the
guys
realities,
know.
man. Yeah,
Yeah,
like
it's a
it's
slow burn.
yeah, you've got to put the money back in, otherwise, how's the business going to grow?
Yeah.
Like how?
Absolutely.
It's a long game,
Absolutely.
and it's the thing is, it's not even a long. You just got to be prepared to be as long as it takes. That's what it is.
Just
it's not
patience.
even like it's
Yeah.
whatever it is. As long as you're committed to it, as long as you truly believe in it yourself, you keep doing it.
Yeah. I think you guys might appreciate this. The thing that I got into business and golf. I love modeling things. I love finding the same, alignments of, whether it be business and golf or relationships.
Okay.
Okay.
I got into, business, and the first 2 months I, said I'm going to stop golf. I'm going to continue this entrepreneurial stuff. I got to 15 golf shops, and
Right.
the reason I was able to do that is because I modeled how I prepared
Yeah. Okay.
for a tournament.
Okay.
Right. Okay.
So my process was I would go, 3-4 days earlier. I'd do a practice round.
Mhm.
I would check out the golf course. My thing would be around the greens. I'm very, anal about the greens.
Okay.
I would look at, each intricate slope, the rough. I would chip a lot. What kind of, wherever I missed it, where's the grass that's good for me to miss it?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm thinking about all these things, and I realized I'm very detail oriented, and that's what sets you apart.
Yeah. Especially in business. Especially
Well,
in
again-
business.
Right.
Yeah.
Again, it's a self-awareness point, right? Like you're drawing parallels from your past experiences accurately, so you can support yourself in your business venture. And the other thing with golf as well, like you've spent years and years and years and years, and yeah, you haven't made the PGA Tour, but you've learned so much from that sort of period in your life that's going to make you a
Right.
successful entrepreneur, right? Like the patience, the hustle, the hard work,
The
the
networking.
preparation, the meeting the
Yeah.
people, like it set you up.
And it's clearly, like you say, you got your product into say. Was it 15 golf clubs? You said straight away when you went around.
15 golf
There
clubs.
you go.
Yeah.
Like that shows. That's an effort. That's well played to get straight away
Right.
15 golf clubs, and I imagine that's got to do with the fact that you've done a lot of the graft without even realizing it. As you're a kid growing up, people noticing you. Like you say, you
Yeah.
spoke to everybody. That was half of the work, really. When you think about it, you've done a lot of the networking already. You
Yeah.
already know the guys
Absolutely.
to speak to. That's awesome. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
I think also the biggest thing for me is I think you hit every point when it comes to the business side what you need.
Mhm.
But the one thing that I would say the secret is understanding that you're gonna fail.
Yeah.
I failed so many times.
Yeah.
I failed millions and millions of times in golf. Like it is the hardest thing to practice 10 hours and go out and shoot like 75. I mean
Yeah.
that's difficult. I mean you're getting nothing out of that.
Yeah. No.
And you just got to keep going, and that's the tough thing for me when I was playing, so
No,
I learned a lot.
I can imagine, man. Like every day is a failure, really, if you think about it. Like
There's so many times you look back in the day and be like, you could have done this, you could have done that. As long as you learn from the
Right.
failures, that's
well,
important.
if you're not failing, you're not executing, are you?
True.
You're just pandering
You're not trying. You're
and,
not failing.
and talking,
Yeah.
yeah. So look, Sam. I think it would be a good natural point now to obviously talk about your business venture.
Yeah.
So, look, I want to hear the origin. I want to hear your thoughts as to what made you think of your product, why the product, and what you hope that can how you hope that can impact the golf community.
Yeah.
Right. Well, so when I first started, I was all over the place. I had no focus. I was, getting products left and right,
Mhm.
thinking I wanted to, do all these things. And the brand name is Storyi.
Mhm.
And I wanted to make a brand where it was utilized and it was a platform for each individual story.
Okay.
Storyi.
Nice.
And I wanted to highlight a professional golfer's story as well as an everyday person that may be working in an office.
Mhm.
I think everyone's story is different,
Definitely.
and that's what's beauty of that, as well as golf.
Mhm.
You don't see one of the same swing. It may be identical, but no one swings exactly
No.
the same. And I think that's the beauty of it, and that's where I got the name in my mind.
Fair enough. No, I like that. That makes sense. Yeah.
I just got your surname in there.
Yeah.
By
Nice.
the way, I'm gonna send you guys products.
Oh,
I'm gonna
oh,
send
wow.
you guys some products. You guys let me know let me know what's the best address.
Oh,
You
thank
want
you.
me to
No,
say it on
we'll
the
do it at the
podcast?
end of the podcast. Yeah, stick around and we'll get that sorted. Thank you.
Perfect.
So in
Um,
regards to the range, the product range itself, for all the guys who are listening from a Just Jack's perspective that may not have heard, just so they know exactly what it is you're selling. So the brand is Storyi, and what's the products? What you got?
um, my main product right now are solar sun sleeves.
Okay.
They are UV and SPF protected.
Hmm.
Um, and I love these sleeves because I know a couple golf coaches that I've grown up with. They always talk about skin cancer, and
Yeah.
it's a real thing. The sun, when we're out there, sunblock doesn't really protect you 100%.
Yeah.
You know, you have to keep applying. So I had these sleeves. I put two to three things together in my head, and I was like, this is a good product. This is a great product that can help people's health.
Yeah.
And I thought I could sell it out to all these golf courses that I know, all the people that I know.
Hmm.
And the shirts, the hat business is very tough.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um, especially when you don't have really have a name.
Of course.
At the
Yeah.
moment, my brand is not strong enough to get shirts and hats into these shops or onto people because, how can I compete with Nike, Adidas, Under Armour, Puma? It's a very strong cult. So
Yeah, it absolutely is. But what I'd say there is like your unique selling point is the fact that you yourself like.
Yeah.
I think the beauty of the internet now is that everyone's story can be shared and people are going to buy into you, mate. Like, I understand the difficulties, but you could easily sell direct to consumer and still compete. I feel.
Yeah, and then we're looking through your Instagram now as well, Sam, as you speak, and looking at the products that you for example, in some of the videos, you're talking about. I think it's taken some bloopers from one of your YouTube channel videos, where you sat with, it looks like a friend of yours, and you actually have your attire on, and it actually looks amazing. That sort of thing instantly to my head. It's like, I'm pale as fuck. Like, I'm so pasty. Like, he's so right. I'd hate sun cream as well, by the way. If I was to ever go out, I'm saying when I go out to LA to play golf, I'd look at something like that if it's going to protect me from the sun, instead of putting sun cream all over the place.
And you
I
get
hate
greasy,
sun cream.
and when you put sun cream on, you get greasy hands. You don't want to grip your club afterwards. Like it's
Exactly.
just it's annoying. It's annoying all around, isn't it? And it's something that we're sort of turn a blind eye to, skin cancer in the northeast of England, because we don't get enough sun to worry about that sort of stuff.
We have these things called clouds that just fucking everywhere.
But obviously, like it's obviously an extremely well thought out product. How did you find that sort of that process then from saying I found a place in the market that we need a product for. Then what did you do? How did you go about designing and sort of the manufacturing and all that sort of thing?
So here comes the I'm freaking blessed part.
Okay, here we go.
My dad is he does import export business.
Oh,
he does distribution. He does distribution. So I have the best mentor in the house.
Perfect.
I get to talk to him and I get to utilize channels that he may have.
Oh, it's such a good springboard, isn't it? That's great to have to launch a brand. You've got to I like that. That's a lot of the hard work as well. That's
a lot of the daunting task is like, well, how can I get my goods from China?
Yeah, well,
and make sure the quality is good enough, and make sure the shipping time and lead times are good enough, and blah blah blah.
It's a common conversation me and Mitchell have. Like, we need to go to China. Like, we need to hop on a plane to China.
Right.
Like, if you knew,
you do. I mean, you have to go. I mean, well, actually, my sleeves are actually from Korea, but then I am going to China in July to meet distributors and looking at the manufacturers.
Good stuff, man.
But I think the sleeve thing for me was, I thought it was cool, but I recently got into customization.
All right.
I got into customized logos, and that's why these shops are really liking me, because I present two options. I said, you can have my sleeve, or you can have my sleeve with your logo.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's kind of my thing. I'm doubling down on what I say. I want my brand to be your brand. I want to put your stuff on my stuff.
Yeah.
I don't want it just to be about my stuff.
No, that's good. And a lot of golf clubs love that, don't they? Because the thing is, when you get golf is still a huge thing for tourism. Obviously, people travel to certain golf clubs and they want to say, oh, I've been to St Andrews, for example, and often in the shop they want to pick up some sort of memento with that logo on. So, and a lot of golf clubs follow that model. So yeah, no, that's a brilliant idea.
Right. I think Just Jack's Golf is pretty. I looked at your guys' thing. I think it's pretty cool, and I think eventually you guys are gonna come to realize, or you guys already know. I don't need to say you guys will realize. You guys already know. Let's say 6 months down the line, Just Jack's Golf is gonna be a brand. It's a brand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, whether you guys know it or not, it's a brand.
No,
and it's going
100%.
to be-
Yeah.
That's what we're so that's like all we think about, mate. Like we think about money second, like it's a secondary. We just think brand, like how can we be authentic to our mission, and how can we create brand that's going to resonate with people, and that's going to grow and create an impact.
Yeah.
And that's all. That's the whole idea of our content is just to support brand. That's all we're thinking about first. That's I think if you can be sort of media, content, and brand led as a business, I think that will lead to sort of long term success.
Yeah, and we always say we'd like the ability to move into absolutely any product possible, like anything.
I want to be able to be a golf company that sells chocolate. Like I want to be a golf company that can do anything because we're a brand, you know.
And it's nice that you bring that up as well, Sam, because we don't really talk about ourselves very often on the podcast with guests. Obviously, to hear about your story. So no, I do appreciate the kind words on that, and that is exactly what we're going for: is brand first, everything else second.
Businessman.
Yeah.
I'm a businessman. And I'm already thinking, I can't wait to hopefully in 6 months you guys invite me back and we talk about, remember 6 months ago where you guys were at, where you guys are at now.
It's booked. Let's put it. It's done.
Well, that's the other thing, Sam. We're doing a series called Just Jack's Golf Tracks, where we go around different golf facilities in the UK at the moment. We'll be going further afield, and just assessing how accessible these golf courses are to the general public, whether they be an amateur, professional, somewhere in between, and actually reviewing the course on stuff that matters, like how friendly the staff are. What their sort of opinion on elitism, and if you've forgotten your clubs, do they say you can't play, or do they say, oh, here's a set of clubs? Like, we're reviewing clubs on that basis to try and promote that sort of attitude in golf. And we're going to be coming over to LA towards the end of the year. We haven't booked anything yet, but we're trying to plan out a trip now. So I mean, we'd love to play with you, obviously.
Yeah, we should definitely link up. We could probably link up with Ron too.
Oh, exactly.
We've got it.
We've got it. Well, where'd you play your golf in LA?
Well, I was a member at Oakmont, but I had to cut that cost.
Yeah, fair enough, bro. Fair play.
But it was a nice golf course. But I can ask around, see if we could go get some golf in somewhere. I have, people I can definitely contact.
Yeah.
But I think it's interesting because I listen to podcasts all the time too. I listen to Gary Vee.
Yeah,
that's my favorite.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Nice. Okay. Well, that's where the mutual comes in. We like Gary Vee. Yeah, he speaks a lot of truth, doesn't he? Yeah.
No, that's why I love you. You keep bringing the word self-awareness. I love that word because I am very aware of myself. I think you have to always check yourself. You can't always say you're right. You can't always think you're right, or you'll never learn. You never get better.
Yeah.
And that's what I always strive for every single day. I always try to learn something, and I think you guys are doing a great job. I think it's exciting because I love watching Impact Theory, but I always thought Impact Theory needed a golf side, and that's what you guys are doing. Have you guys heard Impact Theory?
Yeah, Tom Bilyeu, right?
Tom Bilyeu, yes. I love that show. I watch it every day as well.
He's had some sick guests on. Like really has had some sick guests on. You're right. We just want to get the point somewhere we're just talking to either people that start the journey to end the journey, somewhere in between, to share the story, to try and inspire others to either play the game or to get out of a rut, or to inspire someone else to play the game, just to create something positive in the golf community that we feel is missing. Like we're not entirely sure on the sort of the culture in America yet, because we haven't really been out there and tasted it. I've played a few times out there, but definitely in England it's a very dated industry at the moment that needs shaking up. It's full of a lot of negative, perhaps lazy and entitled people.
They're stuck in their ways. That's what it is.
Stuck in their ways, and we're trying to create a more of a modern outlook on the game.
Yeah, and the thing is, because obviously Mitchell's, as I said before, Mitchell's loves the golf. Mitchell's grown up with it and things like that, so he knows the industry from that side. As for myself, I've worked in the industry. I've been exposed to quite a lot of elements and things. And it is when you scratch the surface in almost any golf club. I can't speak for all of them, of course, because I haven't, but any I've come across. they're all the same. They're all very
Right.
dated. They're behind the times with how they market. They're behind the times with how they get
Right.
members, how they treat their members, and things like that. Like, not saying it's bad at all. It's just not adaptable to the younger generations. It's not adaptable
Right.
to a wider audience anymore. People
Right.
have got other things on their mind, and golf doesn't appeal to a lot of people now as a result of the way it's being portrayed by these clubs and by
Yeah.
the existing participants.
Boring, expensive, and snobby is what we come up against all the time.
Yeah, 100%. And but in that, we're trying to get a good happy medium for everybody. That's what we're going for.
Right.
It's just
I mean, I heard Lee Westwood talk about it. I love Lee Westwood, and I heard him talk about it in an interview. He's like, the game needs to change. It's so many things he was had in his mind, and when I heard him talk in that interview, and I mean, Lee Westwood is someone that knows the game very well as well.
Yeah, I do.
He was saying a lot.
Sorry, go ahead, Sam. Sorry.
Oh no, he was just saying a lot of the things that you guys were just saying, and I couldn't agree more.
we'll have to get that interview out.
Well, we're lucky enough where my home course, Lee Westwood's the attached professional, so he's a member there as well. So we're gonna link up with Lee fairly shortly, hopefully. He's always up with the club.
Man, that's amazing.
So we're looking forward to that. The British Masters is returning to that club as well, so we're hoping to have some form of involvement in that. Nothing confirmed as yet, but yeah, like you say. Yeah, Lee Westwood's an OG, isn't he? He's been a world number one. Hasn't quite done it with the majors. He's been in those positions, but he's been around for a long time, been very successful. 40+ wins on tour.
Right.
And yeah, we need more people like him saying stuff like that.
Yeah,
essentially.
and it would be fantastic. Like my sister said, we would almost have a goal to get Lee on some form of podcast, whether it's in a similar capacity to this or whether it's a live interview, things like that. But we would, and that interview that you've just spoke about, I need to dig that out and I need to watch that because that sounds really interesting to me.
Something to learn from, yeah.
So yes, definitely something to learn from. If he's speaking in similar capacities, I'd be into hearing that for sure.
And so, Sam, I just guess going back to Storyi. How do you sort of see the future of Storyi developing? Like, what do you hope to achieve?
Yeah.
My hopes to achieve is, not only I wanted to start out being a brand. So I'll explain what I mean. I want it to be a brand like, obviously like Nike, stuff like that. But what I really want to be is a distributor.
Okay.
I want people to come to me and, say, I want this product and I want to put my stuff on it. And I want, it's pretty much a collab, like what we're doing right now.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's pretty much a collab, what we're doing.
Yeah.
A podcast is, I love what you guys stand for. I know I love what I stand for, and let's collab. That's kind of how I envision my thing, because I'm not about saying I'm better than your brand. I can't do that. I'm not that guy.
Yeah.
So I figured, what's the best other route? And that is to say, you want to be with my product, I have a good product, let's put your logo on mine.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much being a distributor. A distribution company.
Yeah, no, and like you say, there's no way any brand should ever really be saying I'm better than yours. It's different. You're a different brand. It's not even a compete. You can't. It's like saying is a chicken better than a cow? Like, well, depends.
Gary Vee said something very good. He says when he was doing business at a young age and now, it's the same thing. He never tears anyone else's building down. He just built his building higher.
Yeah.
That's all he does.
Yeah, that's perfect, because it's brand equity as well, right? Because if you're collaborating with people who stand for the same things and adopt the same sort of cultures, it's only going to help you. It's only going to help you down the line. Let's say you're going to sell 1,000 caps in a year's time. If you've spoken to like 100 people, all with the same sort of mentality, you can then go to them, look, we're looking for some support. Can you share? Can you buy or whatever? And it creates a community around your brand. And me and Mickey have always said this. It's about collaboration.
Definitely.
That's why we're getting people on the Nation Series like yourself, like Rondell Barrio, like Matt Cards of Golf in Your State, like Cook Golf. All these companies, brands, and people who are trying to have a positive impact on the industry.
Yeah.
Oh man, this is amazing. I love what you guys are doing. I'm telling you guys, in 6 months to a year, it's gonna be interesting where you guys are standing, and you guys better not forget me.
Bro. No man, it's the same. Look, I honestly really appreciate getting someone like yourself on, because I think your story, people can not relate to a lot. Well, not relate to specifically because it's been such an interesting one, but can definitely resonate with and take learnings from what you've been through. Like I said, I'm just so impressed with your ability to be able to say, after years of like training hours and hours a day, to be like, hang on a minute, I want to get into, I want to create a brand and get into business, and then you executing on that is just, it's admirable.
It shows that what you're made of, though, doesn't it? Like the whole
Yeah.
time, it's always like you're very driven, and to hear the way you're actually driven as well, and that you're putting brand first yourself, and there's no doubt in my mind that again, it'll be very interesting to see where you're at in 6 months' time, because you clearly have the right ethos, you have the right mentality. And
Yeah,
it helps that you're clearly like a really sound bloke.
Yeah, I feel like I feel a lot of good vibes. Like you're obviously a really nice guy, but the confidence thing as well that I get from you is you're self-aware enough to a point where you can be real with yourself, and that dictates
Right.
how you execute your actions. But you don't judge yourself at the same time. You've got that sort of cadence, that balance right.
Yeah.
I think that's really important. Yeah.
I really appreciate you guys saying those points because for me, just up until 3-4 months ago, I had to be self-aware and to ask myself, I'm 27, I'm gonna be 28.
Mhm.
Where do you see yourself in 10 years? And I, since a little kid, I wanted to be a Masters champion, but I asked myself, I don't think I can get there. I don't think that's what I want to do.
Mhm.
I don't want to cater my life to say I want to win a Masters,
Mhm.
even though it isn't a great, great tournament. I asked myself, I want to build something that is different, and I couldn't lie to myself anymore. I had to be honest, and I started. One thing that I didn't mention to you guys was I struggled really bad, especially with my driver,
Okay.
and that was my Achilles heel.
Playing from the rough all the time.
Yeah. Well, I wish I was in the rough sometimes. A lot of times, the red stakes.
All right,
But,
that bad.
but I mean, I think that's kind of the thing that, and that's why I am a fighter. I told myself, I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to throw this game away. How am I going to do this ROI thing, this return on interest from the game that I love? And it's to give back in a sense with brand and distribution. So that's kind of where I'm at in my life. I'm not near success like that. I'm on my way though.
No,
That's definitely what
I define success as being able to do what you want to do each and every day, and it seems like you're pursuing a dream of creating a sort of a very impactful brand whilst using the game as well as a side hustle. I mean, that sounds pretty successful to me.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
I know we've kind of moved away from the product a bit, but I did have one question actually as to the origin of these sleeves. Now that's something that I've never seen before.
Right.
Is this because over in California it is very hot? And in the UK, what we would do is often you'd wear your golf polo. Underneath that polo, you would wear some form of skin,
Like a Nike
like
Pro
a full
or-
Under Armour skin.
Right.
That would be way too hot, I imagine, if you're over in California, especially in the height of summer. Is that where just the sleeve alone came from, or what? What's the story?
So, just like yourself, I hate wearing sunblock.
Nice.
And I always looked for it. Before I even started a brand, I wanted to wear these sleeves because it actually keeps me cool, and it keeps away the sun, and then the tan. It really helped me, and it didn't feel overwhelmingly hot or an extra piece of clothing for me.
Okay.
And it's thin. It's pretty thin. It's one size fits all. I had Bubba Watson's caddy Ted Scott reach out to me, and I
Wow.
gave him some sleeves, and I have some LPGA girls wearing it. That's how universal these sleeves are size wise.
Nice. Okay, that's cool.
yeah,
No, that
and
sounds
I know that's music to Mickey's ears because like Mickey's pale and he's also ginger. He struggles in the sun.
I fry
And he
in
is
the sun.
like whenever we're just chilling and just talking and stuff, we always seem to manage to get into the point of I hate sun. Honestly, I'm not even just saying this because of your brand. He literally tells me about his childhood woes with sun cream.
I hate it.
And how he'd avoid it at all costs. Like he wears trousers in the summer and just tries to stay in the shade.
Yeah, I'm
Like-
just not into it. I'm not interested. That is one thing, because the goal of mine and Mitchell's is to be out in LA, and a semi-permanent to permanent basis.
Where we can play golf 12 months a year.
Yeah, and that has been in my mind. It's like, oh damn, we have to start wearing loads of sun cream. Sun cream gets on your hat. I don't mind wearing sun cream if I'm sitting around the pool, if I'm chilling or whatever. But if I'm playing golf, and I'm going to be getting a golf club out the bag constantly, wearing a glove, sun cream on, off. Like, there's nowhere to wash my hands. I've got to go wash my hands in the lake. No, I'm going to put these sleeves on for sure, bro. Like, definitely.
I'll send you guys some sleeves, and just
That's
give me the
amazing.
address. Love to hear some feedback.
No,
Oh,
thank you.
appreciate
I
it,
guess
Sam.
another point as well, Sam, just with the product. We see a lot of training aids where people wear sleeves as well, just to create some more tension. Is that an added benefit
Right.
as well of this product? Have you heard from golfers that it's helped with the swing in any way?
It's funny. I did not. I think I heard one of my friends. He plays in PG Tour China. He told me that it actually helps him extend. I don't know. I'm not gonna say that that's what it does. It
Yeah.
doesn't for me. But he says like it helps him get extended, and I'm like, all right, cool. Like I'll put that in the marketing.
Well,
Like,
if we try it and I feel like it helps me, you can get a testimonial from me straight away, man.
Yeah,
Like,
same.
I feel like I see a lot of professionals around our area wearing them as training aids. Like I said, to help with the extension, and it helps with people's feel when they're releasing at the top as well. I think that's just again thought. I haven't tried it myself, but that could be a cool added benefit.
I can already give you a testimonial on the fact that it stops you from getting sunburned. If you want, bro. I already know it's gonna work. I believe you.
Well, it's funny. I have the box with me right now. I can tell you, it's 50 SPF sun protection, 99% UV protection,
Nice.
and it's absorb moisture, quick dry, and also it's a high performance fabric. So
Love it, man.
And
I
the other thing as well, like skin cancer is so avoidable if you take the right precautions, right? And we don't think about it at our age, but the people who get to sort of 40, 50 and they've spent sort of 20, 30 years in a sunny climate like LA, it's a real problem, real issue for people.
oh man, I just did a tournament in the beginning of May. It was for a charity called Shane's Play.
Okay.
Kids with disabilities. I did that charity, and
Awesome.
I also brought black sleeves with me to give out because it's Skin Cancer Awareness Month, the month of May.
Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, and the color is black. The black ribbon is representation of melanoma,
Oh, sick.
and skin cancer is the number one cancer, or it's pretty up there. It's one of the top cancers that you could avoid, like you said.
Yeah.
You could try and avoid. So why wouldn't you? You have to protect yourself in the best way possible if you're always in the sun.
Of course.
So
yeah, exactly.
I think people must not. I don't know why people don't talk about it enough. But like, it seems like such an obvious solution. Like people don't talk about skin cancer.
It might be where we're from though. I don't know whether it's because obviously
we're
in the
ignorant
UK
to
we
it.
genuinely don't need to worry about it that much. So it probably just falls off the plate because we don't talk about it because it's not as much of a thing here. I imagine maybe, especially in the northeast.
Right.
Honestly, Sam, like the weather up here is just like different country to like down south. But yeah, it's still a thing because we've had 2-3 weeks of straight sun, and you obviously work outside sometimes, Mitchell. Like, and when you're playing golf and things, you get burnt. Like the other day, you had a really bad t-shirt tan. That doesn't even come into your head, doesn't it? Does it? No. Skin cancer doesn't even come into your head when you think of stuff like that.
No, you just think aesthetically, do I look like an idiot or do I look okay?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Sticking on the entrepreneurial path, Sam. I was honestly going to mention this guy when I was speaking to you first. I thought you might know him, but Mickey just found a picture of you and Randall Pitch. Like, he is one of the guys I look up to, definitely. Like, I don't try and follow too many sort of entrepreneurs on Instagram and online or whatever because I don't want to spend time sort of consuming too much content. I just stick to a couple, spend an hour or two a day trying to learn from these people. Randall's one of them. His ability to create that culture that he has and the brand that he's created is amazing. Tell me about your meeting with him.
So the backstory with that is I actually got to meet him through a company that I was pretty much interning with called Merch Labs.
I've heard of Merch Labs, yeah.
Yeah, Merch Labs. The CEO is a mentor of mine, and he's a great guy. He's really creative, and he just sees things, and I got to meet Randall Pitch through his company when I was interning, and I got to talk with him for 20-30 minutes at lunch. And got to tap into his mind. And man, Randall Pitch is so driven and so on the ball. Like, if you ask him a question about what he does in his company, he just freaking answers it. Boom. Like, very on top of things. That's what I got from when I got to talk with him
Those
like
30
30
minutes will probably cost somebody like in the region of I don't know how to monetize it, but you're looking at thousands of pounds to spend that much time with a guy like him.
Right.
Like his ability to like when I look at his brand, the things I'm like trying to take from it are the sense of community and the culture that he's been able to nurture and create. I think that's central to any modern successful business is being able to do that. So like he's a guy I definitely look up to as well for sure. Extremely jealous that you managed to pick his brain.
He's a great guy. He's a great guy for sure, man.
That's awesome. And Sam, obviously we talked earlier about sort of content and brand being key for us. Is there anything that you're doing specifically around content and media that you want people to know about or that you're starting?
Content like as in
Is it like YouTube content, maybe videos, or like any like podcasts that you might start, or like is there anything that you're doing exciting?
Anything we can
that?
direct people towards, you know?
Yeah,
just,
anything
it's
you
almost
want,
like a
yeah.
plug.
Right. You know, I do have a YouTube channel. I do have a, but then I'm not really on the YouTube channel. I'm actually gonna put a lot more swing, short game kind of tips out on my Instagram more often. I get so many inquiries about that, and I'm gonna start putting more like little tips here and there on chip shots or putting and stuff like that.
No.
So nothing really directing to anywhere.
Fair enough. It's funny you should say that. Like I said, before a lot of these podcasts, I do like I flick through the Instagrams and things like that. Mitchell does a lot more background research than I do. He does a lot of the talking with it because he's more heavily involved with the Instagram. But I do always check out the guests. Now I checked out your page beforehand, and the posts that I flicked through and liked the most were the ones where you were doing your mini coaching sessions. Now I'm a terrible golfer. And I was watching one of the ones when you were teaching people about chipping and where you want the ball to land as opposed to actually thinking about where it's going to end up totally. Now, I know fine well that I'm going to go back and watch your videos to get tips from because I already understand how to play those shots based on the way you put it. So you put it so eloquently that it made sense to me, which if it makes sense to me, I imagine it's going to make sense to all golfers. Because
I appreciate that.
So no, I think you should definitely move into something like that, especially with YouTube and things as well.
The cool thing you're doing, the only content you've got to produce, the only content anyone's got to produce is content that's going to provide value or benefit to those who are watching it, right? So like, yeah, you're in a product business at the moment, but doing tips or doing golf tips around the green and stuff that you're good at, that's going to create value for your consumers in your community is going to be beneficial. So please do keep them coming. I'm an awful putter, so anything that you can put on there about keeping a rhythm or tempo when you're putting is paramount for me.
There's one about reading greens on there, but you did have a youngster dancing away in front of you. Like that made me laugh. I was like, yeah.
My little nephew.
Is that one?
My little nephew.
He's got some swag, hasn't he? I like it.
This was it. Here we go. Oh, yeah.
But I think it's interesting because you guys touched upon it earlier.
Mm-hmm.
So with my brand too, or like the distribution side that I want to go to, it's all about how you present you, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about what is Sam doing that people trust and say, I want to buy his product.
Yeah.
And I look at you guys and I think I can already imagine, I already envision what's going to happen. You guys, because you guys told me you want to go to golf courses, you want to try these golf clubs, you pretty much review, things of that nature in the golf field. What's going to happen is companies are going to come to Just Jack's Golf and they're going to want to pay you. They're going to want to say, oh, can you guys review this product? And, we'd give you some amount. And I think that's what's going to happen. I think what's going to happen with you guys is you guys have a very good system. I really like. It's very 2019.
Right, appreciate it. Yeah,
that means a lot.
We're just trying to bring value to as many people in the golfing world, or not in the golfing world, who might see golf in a different way because of us. And then how we monetize is definitely second thought to us. We're both commercially aware, and when it time comes to capitalize it and monetize it properly, we will. We have started it. But we're just thinking value and brand first.
Yeah. Right.
And how absolutely. No, but I really appreciate the well wishes and the positive vibes. Yeah, thank you.
Throw it all straight back to you, bro, as well. Like, honestly, like we've touched on earlier, it's very clear that you know what you're talking about. So I want to see you keep pushing through it, and yeah, building that brand, bro. It's so far so good.
And for people listening, Sam, like where can people find you, and how can people get a hold of your product?
So I have a website. It's called ourstoryi.com.
Mhm.
OurStoryi.com.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll put it in the link to the YouTube as well now, guys.
put it in, yeah.
It's going to be in the description if you're watching on YouTube. And again, it's Storyi Golf on Instagram, and yeah, it's a fantastic page to follow, even if you're not interested in golf. He's got some really good content out there. Very aesthetically pleasing shots. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, I mean,
Thank you guys. I really appreciate it.
not at all, man. And like you were saying before, I think just to touch up on what we were saying before, like you say, it's hard the shirt business trying to compete with the likes of Nike and Puma. Just remember, like honestly, fuck Nike and Puma. Your Storyi, like your Sam Yee.
Yeah.
You stand for something that people are going to resonate and relate to. So keep at it. Like, yeah, don't get distracted by shit. You are you, and keep doing it, man.
I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. And I would love to be a guest again.
We'll make it
Let
happen.
me know.
No, it's going to happen.
Yes,
We'll
sir.
do it.
Sounds good.
Okay, cool, Sam. Look, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story. It's been one of the more unique ones that we've had. I hope that anyone listening can draw some parallels with this story and maybe learn a thing or two. Really cool brand. Go check them out. It's Storyi and Sam Yee Golf.
Awesome.
Thanks, Sam.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.
No problem, Sam. You have a good day, bro, and we'll be in touch, and we will definitely be doing this again.
Till next time, nation.
Yes, sir.
Goodbye.
See ya.